Hello everyone and welcome to World of Darkness news on this very nice autumnish week. We're slowly heading towards October, which is our month of darkness, where every single day there's going to be something new. We're going to have either some reveals, news, updates, and stuff from our partners for all 31 days in October. So it's going to be like a little advent calendar. And we are not slowing down before that, as we do have plenty of news for you today, starting with Bloodlines 2. I know we've just dropped the trailer, but we're not stopping. There's going to be more stuff being shown. We don't want another long times of silence, so you're going to have some fun drops here and there, starting with the very first one, which is the dev diary. So this is the very first Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 dev diary from the team in the Chinese room. And not only we received the dev diary this week, but also we get a promise that the brand new dev diary is going to release in 2 weeks. The one today, or actually the one this week, the one which I'm going to introduce to you right now, is focusing more on the game pillars and the general kind of the mindset behind the gameplay and the game design of the game. While the next week's the one in 2 weeks from now on is going to be focused on the narrative. So it's going to dwell deeper into the story and what the game is about. Which I'm sure a lot of people are very interested to see now that we got some teases about the game's protagonist being an elder. But before I spoil you everything about this dev diary by talking about it, let's just have a look at it, shouldn't we? So it is all available on Bloodlines 2 website. If you want to go to bloodlines2.com, you will be able to read it at your own pace. I just want to say that you can right-click on these images and open them in a new tab for pretty nice wallpaper. This is my wallpaper on my PC right now because it's sweet. And that is the same with all of the images in the dev diary. And I will be reading most of it to you in order to kind of digest it and go through it. And of course, if you want to check it out yourself, you can do it at your own pace on the website itself. So all of the dev diaries are written from the perspective of one of the developers from the studio. That allows you to give you a bit more of a familiarity with people working on this game and to give you a little bit more of their personal view on how the game is being built, which for me as a, someone with a game development heart, it's amazing to read that, and it's great to see a little bit more of a background behind the game. But it's also fun from a perspective of someone who wants to play the game and is wondering what exactly is going to be the main design perspective behind it. So here, this is studio design director Alex Skidmore from the Chinese room. Excited to finally be able to say this out loud. I'm writing today to introduce you to our studio, its history, and in the future, the people behind making Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Now this is pretty cool because of the fact that the team wasn't able to say anything for the longest time when they were working on this game. They've been working on it since 2021, and for all of this time, they had to be completely silent that they work on this game. And you can imagine how difficult it is. In fact, one little behind-the-scenes tidbit I can share with you is there have been people who are actually fans of Vampire the Masquerade and who are super interested in Bloodlines 2, who are applying to work in the Chinese room not knowing that they are going to work on this game. And once they got the job and they were in, they were like, oh my goodness, I'm actually working on this game. So it's been really amazing how the team kept it quiet and it wasn't public information up until very recently. The Chinese Room is the award-winning studio focused on telling grounded, believable, and rich stories. These are the traditions behind our groundbreaking games in our portfolio, like Dear Esther and the internationally acclaimed Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Over 100 talented game developers were all drawn here by a passion for the kind of storytelling we do, and we also have a strong history of supporting diversity in our development team and our games. In early 2020, we moved to our studio in sunny Brighton and built our award-winning mobile game Little Orpheus, a warm-up for the ambitious titles ahead. Later the same year, the company moved to 2 narrative-focused projects, Still Wakes the Deep and Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. The first one builds on Chinese Room's heritage, and Bloodlines 2 is about looking to the future of our games, taking a big leap forward into the action role-playing genre while bringing our narrative expertise to bear. Now this is fun. You've seen the trailer already. If you haven't, check it out. The new trailer for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 that was released on PAX West, as you probably noticed, is very, very oriented on action. There's a lot of action in there, a lot of fights, a lot of gameplay, like pure gameplay, the things that you can do in the game, like glide over the city, the disciplines you can use, like there's a lot of that sort of an action. This is a very, in my opinion, interesting sort of a showcase of the first thing the studio is showing when you have a studio that comes from the history of these games that are very narrative focused and a little bit less gameplay focused. And I think it's a nice little, bone thrown to the people who are following the development of this game, being like, okay, but you folks made games which are focused less on the action before, and now you're making a game that is an action RPG. So how is that going to work? Here we go. The first trailer is actually showing a lot more about that. So I'm very happy that we were able to show that perspective. And of course, more is going to be shown, especially more about the story with the upcoming dev diaries and the January gameplay, which was already announced. So there's going to be more gameplay shown then. Making Bloodlines 2. So a look at TCR's portfolio shows believability, hard word, is the basis of any of our game worlds, allowing greater immersion. Vampire the Masquerade's origins as a TTRPG and broad transmedia portfolio gave us this foundation of believability from the get-go. We love how it lets you express your monster in a world full of supernatural secrets. That just fits our style of storytelling. Bloodlines 2 asked us to believe that blood-sucking monsters could inhabit our world, that you were one of them, and how would you deal with that world while navigating the darkness within? Bloodlines 2 is designed with a balance of role-playing game and adventure story. A compelling and rich plot you'd expect from an adventure game, but with RPG agency allowing you to act out your personal vampire fantasy. The city of Seattle will open lots of opportunities, and we have a nice screenshots from the game. Throughout development, we've been regulars in Stockholm, yes they were, in World of Darkness headquarters to discuss and align the opportunities for stories, characters, gameplay, and crossovers that this IP gives us as creators and fans. We're thrilled to bring World of Darkness off the page and character sheets and into an action RPG video game. Awesome. So this is going deeper a little bit into the design mindset, and for me this is the most interesting part. While making decisions about Bloodlines 2, one constant reference is our first game pillar, feel like a vampire. Everything you do in this game should make you feel like a predator of the night. In video games, we often get to be mighty hero fighting against the darkness. Vampires, especially as playable characters, are underrepresented. And I know that some of you may argue at this point, because hey, we have Legacy of Kain, we have Vampire, we have all these games. Not enough. Like, we don't have enough of these games. I know that it might feel like if you put them all on the list, but a lot of them like released so many years ago, like we don't have enough vampire games. So I agree with this point 100%. We're building the game around the experience of doing things only a kindred can. With non-combat gameplay, we found early on we were doing the RPG tropes. Find a key card to open a door, turn on a generator to restore power to a lift. We put in a rule that the non-combat gameplay should be about something only a vampire could do. Keep it aspirational. That's a super interesting part. However you want to interpret it, I will leave it to you, because I might know something more about that one, but so I'll leave it behind right now. But this is like super, super cool part. When we were exploring combat, it started off playing like Dishonored, which we love, but that didn't feel right for a vampire. Players were very cautious and afraid of the enemies they encountered. To us, a kindred should stalk its prey and strike fearlessly like a predator. We want to build an action experience where players feel confident, almost trolling the enemies with their disciplines. Testers use the phrase playing with your food, which we love and illustrates how we think a Vampire the Masquerade ARPG should feel has come up in the playthroughs. So that's super interesting. I would love to hear more in the future from the QA and from the testers themselves and how this exactly works. Because when you have testers involved on various stages of development and design, they can tell you like, oh, I'm afraid of these humans. I'm afraid of approaching these humans because I don't feel I have enough power to overtake them. And then they can tell you, ooh, I feel like I'm playing with my food. And that gives you a little bit more of a vampire feel to it. So it definitely gives some insight into how QA and how testers work on this game, which is a little nice tease in here. The look of a powerful vampire. This is Ryong, by the way. That was confirmed. This character is Ryong. Who she is exactly, we don't know, but she was in the trailer for the game on PAX. Most action games offer a power fantasy. I like to call ours a confidence fantasy. When you have a supernatural edge and immortality to back you up, there should be a sense of, I know what is going on. I can control the situation. We want to give you the tools to do that in combat, conversations, or traveling across the city. When they come together, you should be immersed in the feeling of being a vampire. We have 2 more game pillars: visceral, immersive combat, and exploring the world of darkness. We'll explore these in depth later down the line. We look forward to telling you more. Until then, good night. And what's next? We're all working hard to make this game amazing because we love Vampire the Masquerade and the chance to tell impactful stories. We know you've been waiting a while, so we decided to honesty and keeping you informed. Together with Paradox, we will give you as much info about the game as we can without spoilers, and always tell you when the next update will happen and what it will be about. Our next dev diary will be about narrative themes and atmosphere. You will learn about more about our neo-noir thriller story and how the World of Darkness threatens to spill over into the mortal world in just 2 weeks. Interesting. So in 2 weeks, we have a new dev diary. We do have some insight here about what kind of a gameplay you can expect from playing an Elder, but just a bit of it. There's a little bit more that the community manager from the Chinese room is sharing in the latest video that they've published on their TikTok, which I would love to show you right now.
In our game Bloodlines 2, you play as an elder vampire. But what does that mean? As they get older, kindred get stronger. Not only in terms of their power, but also in terms of their social standing and wisdom of how to survive the night. Exactly how powerful and exactly how old is still to be revealed, but let us know what you think in the comments.
There we go. So that is a little update from Josh from the Chinese room, and I am very interested in what do you think about this. Well, playing an Elder is not exactly the default way of playing Vampire the Masquerade. Playing a newly awoken, powerful vampire must feel very different to playing a character that you just make from the get-go on your character sheet, and that makes for a very special gameplay experience. And I wonder what you think about it as a either TTRPG player, a video game player. Like, what is your mindset on that? I feel like there's going to be a lot of twists and turns in the story as we're going to reveal more. But as for now, this is the information we got. And in 2 weeks, you're going to get more with the new dev diary. So let's dwell deeper into the news. I'm actually going to start with another video game, the one that is coming very soon, Vampire the Masquerade Justice, that had its preview on PAX with a lot of flowery reviews. I recommend to check out some of the impressions from PAX West and people playing Justice online. There's a lot of articles, there are some YouTube videos, and there's also a really nice coverage from one of the creators. This is a little highlight from that YouTube coverage. I recommend to check out Vampire the Masquerade Justice on YouTube in order to check out more, but here's a little intro to the game.
I'm Justice. It's not my real name, but I'm not sure that's important to anyone anymore. It certainly isn't for me. Our services were called for at times by the New York Kindred Lords, but mostly we followed our own agenda. We killed for the greater good, and we kept to ourselves among the ancient texts and relics he had found over the centuries. And then he was killed, and one of his most prized relics was stolen. I inquired among the Camarilla, but no one offered any help. Too busy playing their own power games.
Alright. Oh, calling us.
That's when he contacted me.
Sir.
Your local leaders, they're afraid to stir the pot. Maybe something unseemly floats to the surface. It's all politics, of course.
Oh.
Why commit to something today that might bite you in the ass tomorrow?
This looks good.
Venice, Italy. There was a Nosferatu waiting for me there. The low ground. Someone that could help me. But Kaiser said he did have an agenda of his own.
And that creator was Tariel Wood on YouTube. You can check out the full video on his channel. It's full of gameplay. There's a lot of exploration of the early game gameplay of Justice without many spoilers. So I recommend to check it out. And in general, there's plenty of articles, gameplay videos out already. So if you're a VR player, if you are interested in exploring a little bit of Dishonored, like I know this is the second time I'm mentioning this game on the stream, but a little bit of a Dishonored style gameplay, but in VR, very immersive and really atmospheric. Check out the gameplay. And now on to the TTRPGs, now on to some of the books that you're waiting for. New Blood Sigils preview is out, and they are being released now weekly. The last one has been released just last week, the first lore sheet that we were able to see for the Blood Sigils book. This one is not a lore sheet, but it's a very interesting part of the chapter that seems to be called The Secrets. And what is in this particular chapters on the 2 pages that were shared are the various alchemical formularies, or rather various alchemical books, which actually give you not only the lore to the background of alchemy and how it functions in the world of darkness, but also some mechanical benefits. If you happen to be the owner of one of these books, you get some additional special things for your character. You may get some extra dice, you may get some special backgrounds. So I recommend to check this one out. I enjoyed this particular preview, particularly for explaining to me how exactly kindreds go in possession of blood sorcery, like alchemical treatments, treaties, there we go, treaties, like the booklets, the recipes, the general materials that allow them to pursue these rituals, either in blood sorcery or in Finnblood alchemy. And the fact that Finnbloods, you know, the Duskborn, the non-full vampires, the young vampires who are very weak in comparison to the older elders, and they may not have these leather-bound journals from the 13th century telling them how to perform alchemy. They have hard drives, they have encrypted clouds, they have like super niche zines that they like print and incorporate among one another, which I think is really, really interesting. So these 2 pages, despite you know, a little format, they give you plenty of little backgrounds on how this can work in a game. And Blood Sigils in general is a book about that. So it's a book about alchemy, blood sorcery, and how it works for all the kindred, not only the usual wielders, which is the Clan Tremere, Clan Banu Hakim, and Finnbloods. It's about how different clans can benefit from the blood sorcery in different ways, and also how all characters can stumble upon some special things connected to the alchemy, and how you as a storyteller or a player can weave these stories in your character. I think it's super interesting. I know that not everyone explores these topics in your stories and chronicles, but I feel like most of the clans have members that would be interested in that, or all of the clans have members that would be interested in this. And the book also goes into that. I'm getting a little bit in the spoiler territory, but there are some parts in the book in which describe how Clan Toreador, why would they actually dabble in blood sorcery, or what is interesting in that for Clan Bruja, and more. So a little bit of a spoiler, but more previews are going to come soon, and you can access them all. If you go to Renegade store page, or just write Blood Sigils in Google, on the product page, they are available as images in the gallery. So you can just download them all, read them through, and enjoy them. Let's go deeper. Vampire the Masquerade Swansong is releasing on Switch next week, finally. I'm so happy about that. This is a very Switchable game. For me, Vampire the Masquerade Swansong, as much as I played it on PC, is the kind of a game I would like to take on the couch and just lay with my blanket and play it just in the nice autumn atmosphere with a candle on the side, with a glass of wine. So Swansong is a game, if you played Detroit Become Human, that might be a little bit more like that. If you played The Council, that is definitely like that in the more sense, as the developer is the same as the game The Council. And it explores the story of 3 different vampires in Boston. You have Ventru, Malkavian, and the Toriator. They are exploring the politics of the Boston scene, as well as some really horrible things that happened in Boston recently. So something really bad is going on for vampires in that city, and you are tasked as 3 different vampires to solve this case. It's very much of a Sherlock Holmes style Vampire the Masquerade game in which you investigate various things, you get into the details, you try to solve the puzzles. And what's more, from what I've noticed when I play this game, it is pretty replayable in a way that some decisions you made have consequences. Actually, most of the decisions you make have consequences, and it's hard to wiggle your way out of them. So it's good to play the game again later on and pick something else to see more, to dwell more, especially if you're a lore maniac and you really want to dwell deep into what's going on in this game. So definitely a game to play more than once. If you played it on PC already, Switch might be a good idea to pick it up and just play it at your leisure on the couch. It's releasing next week on the 28th, and we're definitely going to boost it on socials, so if you missed that, we will remind you. But congrats to Nakon for delivering it for another platform. And let's go deeper. Vampire the Masquerade and Dying Light 2 event is announced to happen on October 23rd. Spoiler for Month of Darkness. I know I spoiled you some things already, but this one is going to happen on the 23rd, and you will be able to find more information about this. You can already find some more information about it in the Pilgrim Outpost, which is the community hub for Dying Light 2 fans. This is a super fun collaboration. So Dying Light 2, you probably know it as a massive, very popular zombie game that is set in a real world. While Vampire the Masquerade, well, it's also set in a real world, and this is a little bit of a collaboration event in which you can explore some Vampire the Masquerade themed things, at least cosmetically, in Dying Light 2. You're able to execute either your Vampire the Masquerade funness or your fondness in the game. And we're going to share more of that, more gameplay videos and more little teasers as we are approaching the event. So yeah, October 23rd is going to be the date. Save it if you are a Dying Light fan. If you already have the game and you like Vampire the Masquerade, this is something for you. But if you don't have the game, I recommend to check it out, because it's very impressive. Gives you a lot of freedom in how you want to explore the city and what you want to do. And I feel like it has some vibes for people. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about this because I'm biased myself, but I feel like the real world settings in which you explore monstrous things, you know, they kind of like get the same sort of audiences, you know, like, I like zombies. Don't you guys like zombies? I feel like there is some connection between zombie worlds and, you know, the world's, our world, but there's something bad going on, and World of Darkness. So I'm looking forward to this one. Also, kudos to Techland folks who also were with us on PAX West and were promoting that event in there. There's a lot of people who were very interested in it from the PAX site, so I hope that this one is going to be fun for you. And now, without further ado, I'm going to jump into the spotlight, and I'm going to show you some of the super cool stuff that I've seen this week from the community, and there's been a lot. Unfortunately, today not joining me is Hadi, as she's taking a break. She was a victim of some blood-sucking vampires today, and she's taking a good sleep. And I will be going through everything in here, but she did help me in making this board. So thank you so much, Hadi, and I hope to see her here next week. So we are going to start with Tumblr. We have a lot of Tumblr this week. Just because there's been a lot of things going on Tumblr, and this made me laugh. So I hope it will, or actually both laugh and interested in exploring these. So I hope that you will enjoy it. From Melonbear51, Vampire the Masquerade character concepts I am compelled to share because my brain won't stop. Hey all, I'm back in my Vampire the Masquerade bullshit with more character concepts. Apologies if this is a bit more cut or shorter than usual. I'm cranking this out on my work break. But anyway, here you go. Content warning for thalassophobia, which is the fear of oceans, and implied animal death. First one, La Sombra Saturation Dive. If you don't know what it is, just know that it involves going to the very deepest and pitch dark parts of the ocean, probably the closest to the abyss on Earth. And for Kane's sake, please don't look into the Byford dolphin accident, which will probably come up if you look up saturation diving, if you are squeamish. Well, now I will have to look into Byford dolphin accidents because I love reading stories about deep diving gone wrong and cave diving gone wrong. Like, that's my favorite thing. So it's my sort of a true crime story. You know, I like this sort of stuff. Like, I like catastrophic human exploration. So I'm definitely going to look into it. And I feel like it's a great idea for having a La Sombra saturation diver. As a La Sombra, you are drawn into the abyss, the oblivion. This is you as a vampire, you see what's beyond the veil, beyond the shroud, and you are drawn into it. So this is a wonderful idea. Now, a Banu Hakim erotic dancer who uses their unnatural grace to their advantage. The Toreador aren't the only ones with celerity or sex appeal, and the club serves as a wonderful place to mete out justice to handsy assholes while gathering intel. Great idea. I love it. A Malkavian with synesthesia, so intense it's borderline overwhelming. Oddly enough, the colors, sights, and sounds they receive actually tend to be useful as they hint at the true nature of things. As a synesthetic myself, a person who can see colors in letters and numbers, this is great. Like, I would love to, you can hear a word and you can see a color associated with that word, and then you saw someone in the city that was dressed in the same color, and that leads you to sort of like connecting the dots and maybe some investigation into what's going on the quest you're on. So I love it. Great idea. A guide of a ghost tour that is known for producing paranormal encounters. Of course, since the guide is a Hekata, ghostly happenings are par for the course. That's awesome. A Hekata who is using their powers to summon the wraiths in order to fuel a paranormal encounter tour and get more people to guest on it and actually make money out of it. Great idea. A gargoyle pet groomer who's had to skip multiple towns after feeding on Fido a little too enthusiastically. Love it too. Yeah, I enjoy it. Thank you so much, Melon Bear 51. These are very good concepts. And now we have a little meme from Hadi, from VTM memes on Instagram. When Clan La Sombra comes back to the Sabbat, welcome home, cheater. Yes, it's fun. So for those of you who haven't caught up, in 5th edition, no clan is particularly Sabbat or Anarch or Camarilla. Like, all of them just mingle, but when it comes to Sabbat, La Sombra and Tzimitzi, they kind of like went back to non-Sabbat factions and were like, okay, can you guys let us in? Like, Sabbat is not doing very well. Can we go back? So now they are trying to go back to Sabbat, some of them, of course, because Camarilla may not be such a great place to be in general. And this is what awaits them. That is very true. Now from Tumblr, this is, oh my goodness, this made me gasp today. Different Angel Tyrant posted, your sire drained someone from the past of your life, and he did it on purpose. Humanity lost. It's a creative character called David Grimmelshausen, and Laura Lee is in the front in here. And look at this beautiful, beautiful painting that just made me feel all the things. I'm going to push this one a little bit above so you don't see the dark, there we go, the white borders, but this is so gorgeous. It's so good. I am just a fan of the paint strokes, of the just general the character, the soft person, like softly drawn person on their lap. I hope that Twitch is not going to ban me for a nipple. Let's hope so. There are 2 nipples in there, right? Nipples should be fine. It should be kosher. So let's go deeper into here. From history, we have My Ventral Lady, and this also says Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, so this might be like a protagonist, interpretation of the protagonist of Bloodlines, but it's gorgeous, and I love the sketch with the more messy lipstick, and like, it's clear that they've drunk blood just before, and this one more composed, more official, more business-like. Love the little moles, beautiful touch, and just a really good design. Great job, history. And now we're going to some fun stuff. From Harbinger's Echo. Hold on, my teeth. Hold on, my teeth are falling out again. Cool, can I have them? You'd want my teeth? That's just, benefits of being a Nosferatu. Everyone knows that people love Nosferatu. Nosferatu are repulsive by default. Some of them might have falling teeth. Why not? Maybe the teeth just grow back every night and they can have a collection. And this is just adorable. A little adorable comic about a Nosferatu. And speaking of adorable comics, you need to read this one from Saren Hale. I wish I could help you by giving you my blood. I'd be down to make your drink from me. Well, even then, it wouldn't work. I can't just drink any blood around. Why not? I need a specific type of blood. I can only drink that type. Oh, is this like one of those ancient curses you find in vampire books? You can only drink the blood of virgin maidens or nobles? Not exactly. It's, actually, you might be able to help me. Hold on. Can you smoke this joint for me? What? It doesn't have to be weed. It can also be coke, crack, meth, LSD, heroin, opioids, mushrooms, Xanax, benzo, ketamine, speed, codeine, PCP. Honestly, I've done them all, so everything goes for me. It just needs to be dragged blood. So you're saying that you need me to smoke this doobie in order to be able to drink my blood? Yes. This is the weirdest vampire condition I've ever heard of. I hope you know that. Yeah, I bet. Also the most I've done to get a guy, so you better appreciate it. I do. This joint fucking rips. It's amazing. So this is, of course, comic visualization of the addict flaw from V5. So some vampires do not lose their IRL, like their human life habits of addiction towards specific substances. And if you are a vampire suffering that condition, you need to drink blood that is infused with that substance in order to satisfy your addiction. And if you don't satisfy your addiction, you will suffer penalties to your dice rolls in the mechanical way. And in the role-playing way, you basically will feel pretty bad. You will feel like you really need something. You really need a fix. So I am playing a Finbot who has this flaw. I don't think it's been a hassle match. I feel like when you are, I'm playing in play by post, so I have to feed a lot. Like, there's been like countless feedings my character had done so far. But with enough wits and awareness, you are able to discern people like in a club or in any public space at night that might be on the substance that you are on, that you want to pursue. And this way you can feed pretty quickly and have it done with and not suffer the effects of the addiction much. But of course, it is something that hinders your ability to feed just on anyone. And if you feed, let's say in combat, if you feed on someone just because there's a situation that allows you to do so, you will suffer penalties later on because that blood wasn't the kind of a blood that you need and you require. So it is a flaw, definitely, and it is painful for a character to suffer through it. And now we have this one. Okay, I think this one is from Hadi, because I haven't seen this before. So let's see what Hadi has prepared. From Rock Candy Hellhound. Last night I had a dream that they were gonna put clowns in the world of darkness, like as an actual playable supernatural race alongside vampires, werewolves, mages, etc. Not gonna lie, I'd unironically play a game of Clown the Funny or whatever. I mean, that is pretty much a monster game, so I agree. As a fellow clown, I agree with this one. And now here is a really nice visual depiction of Salubri Bane from Lambilin Games. Lambilin Games. And this is Lucian's player made the meme during the last session, and I delivered a redraw. Don't worry about the live dodo. I don't know what the live dodo is doing in here. But here's a Lucian while his third eye is bleeding. This is a vampire of Clan Salubri, because their eyes is on their forehead, and when they use disciplines, they bleed. And there is Olivia in the background here having a rose check and being very, very hungry. Salubri's bane is not only that they have an eye that bleeds when they use disciplines, but also that blood smells amazing and maybe very enticing to other vampires. So Olivia, as you can see, is very much in the hunger mode in here. Like, I'm gonna get you. I love it. I don't know what's up with the dodo, and I want to know, why is there a dodo in this chronicle? Like, it's important. Anyway, The Coast After Dark, this is an account I recommend to follow for more artworks and more really cool behind the scenes of their New York campaign Chronicle, which seems to be very interesting. These are the characters from the Chronicle. They've done a lot of artwork, a lot of teasers for this Chronicle, so I do recommend to check out The Coast After Dark. I think the style is really nice, very atmospheric. It's very New York in some way, so I very much enjoy it, and the characters look awesome. So I recommend to check out The Coast After Dark for more stuff from their Chronicle. And here, there's something that Hadi left for me. I haven't seen it yet, so let's see. Wait, let me make sure that you can hear it too. Okay.
May I approach the bitch?
What did you say?
I said, may I approach the bench?
Ah.
What did you think I said?
May I approach the bench? Yes, Cameron and Anarchs, the two factions of the rebels and the ones that do not like the rebels. We love them both equally here on the streams. And I think I missed this one. So that's from HRE1B Arts. Everyone likes feral vampire sophisticated werewolf pairing, right? Anyways, figured I'd give Anne her own love interest with Cherry. They're both known for brokering treaties for their respective supernatural communities and end up falling in love while renegotiating the territory lines for their areas, and the treaty that keeps the werewolves and vamps on semi-neutral terms. Anne's a game girl, and I imagine that Cherry is a glasswalker. I love him. I am happy that Hadi put something like this in here, because I admit I dropped the ball this week and I only pushed vampire stuff on the board, and I haven't actually pushed anything werewolf nor hunter, for which I am sorry. I promise to fix that next time. But yeah, we do love vampire / werewolf romances, and this is one of them. So HRE1B Art, thank you so much for this one, and check more on their Instagram. All right, and now for something different. I do have a new Unbound game, a prototype of a game that we've just added to the World of Darkness Unbound gallery on itch. You can check it out by going to worldofdarkness.itch.io. Free games set in World of Darkness setting that you can play. They're made by fans and they're amazing. And this one I haven't played yet, so I am going in blind just by the description. In Shovelhead, a hand-painted interactive horror experience, you awaken buried alive, surrounded by the stench of death and the thirst for blood. Led by a mysterious and unsettling hitchhiker, you must navigate a chilling world of vampires and deception where every decision counts. Will you obey and become a pawn in the hitchhiker's twisted game, or dare to challenge the enigmatic antagonist and uncover the secrets of your newfound existence? So this is really gorgeous, and it's all hand-painted, as you can see. It's, from the looks of it, a visual novel-styled game that goes into the background of making a Shovelhead, which is basically a Sabbat child and Sabbat fledgling. So a newly born vampire into this very bloody faction. I'm looking forward to playing this out. Let me know what you think about it. It's just a prototype. There's still plenty of things to do from the developer side. And yeah, there's a lot of other games on the itch available for you to check it out. And there's a lot of things that are all free, so you can check it out. And now for LA by Night, New York by Night, and Seattle by Night. We have our beautiful Prince Vannevar from LA by Night. As you can see, this is just gorgeous. What a gorgeous piece from Macachino, with the shattered mirror behind Prince Vannevar. I am not going to spoil you why, because it's a spoiler for LA by Night. But this is a series on YouTube. If you haven't watched it, it's available for free. All 5 seasons, I believe. And yeah, it's very much on point with the story of poor Vannevar Thomas. And here, in the vein of something that there's a popularity for recently, Khalida and Coco have a lot of fans as a pairing, as a ship, or as enemies, frenemies, love enemies, romance enemies. And Lunar Lorekeeper has made the enemies meme for Coco and Kalida. It's a little bit low quality in here if you will check it out on stream, so I recommend just to go to Lunar Lorekeeper Instagram to check it out in its full glory. But it's the hatred level, fear level, cunning level, violence level, who is actually winning, who thinks they're winning, what's the other person's, wants the other person hurt, wants the other person dead, would miss them if they died. As you can see, that's very low for both. Willing to reconcile is pretty high for both of them though. So it's a pretty cool layout that you can use for your personal chronicles as well. And yeah, you can check it out in its full glory on this Insta. All right, that is going to be all for our Vamily Spotlight. If you are watching us live on stream, do wait for a little Q&A we have at the very end. If you're watching us on YouTube, I will see you next week. And do remember, Month of Darkness is coming. October is going to be full of stuff happening every single day. So keep in touch through socials, worldofdarkness.com, and here on the streams. We'll be here every week to deliver you more news. And in the meantime, do not get lost in the night, and I will see you later on.